this. Yeah, and I have worked on as an architect, as an analyst in onshore, offshore, many places, right? And on technology wise, like on Informatica MDM, I have 7+ years of experience. On IDQ side also, I have worked almost like 8 years of experience. Power Center, I have almost like 4 or 5 years of experience, and other technologies, right? But yeah, let's focus on the MDM part today. Let's try to understand. There are a lot of things that I'll be covering today. So it's not just like a demo session or something. It's actually the first class and demo both. Right. Now let's start. Let's try to understand. There are standard slides as usual, like in any training session. Yeah. What I'll do is now first we'll directly hit the target. We'll just try to understand first what is MDM. That's the key thing. Then we'll cover a lot of other things like why there's a necessity of a special software like MDM. Why can't we uh, like use something else as an alternate solution like IDQ or something? And the business advantages, like if you don't have MDM, then what's the issue? Just 1 minute. Okay, sorry for the delay. Yeah. Okay, let's start then instead of wasting time. Right. So I'll start from the end. That's a strange thing to do, but I think that's correct. Okay, so let's try to understand what is MDM. I'm sure you would have done some Google work over this, like trying to understand what is MDM, what it does and all that, right? So, um, frankly speaking, MDM is very simple. But if you go through Google and all that, then there can be like many answers, questions and all that. But frankly speaking, it's very simple. MDM. MDM is nothing but master data management, right? So it's, if I break it down into words, then it's management of master data. Management of master data. Now to understand that, we should have complete understanding on what exactly is master data. Because if we don't understand what is master data, then there's no point, right? And to go even deeper, we should have an understanding of what is data, right? What is data? Data is nothing but information. Some might agree, some might not, but frankly speaking, that's it. I mean, it's nothing but just information, right? So the way you store it, let's say if you go to a restaurant, then a lot of information is generated. When someone stores it, that okay, this guy prefers sandwich with extra sauce, right? So if that is collected, and that can be used for marketing purposes as well as for your relationship, customer relationship, that becomes useful data. So data is everything, everywhere. You go to a bank, you apply for a credit card, you give your documents, then data is collected, right? Data is everywhere. You join a company, your data is collected and stored in the employee tables, right? So that's what data is. Now, more specifically about a company, we are talking about the customer data. We're talking about the data about the products, how many different products are there, then data about employees, right? Then vendor information, location information, something like that. Okay. Now, then if that was data, what is master data and why do we need it? Because frankly speaking, reason, there's no reason. If something is there, there must be reason. Otherwise, it's waste of time, right? So if master data is there, is it justified? I mean, the thing, master data is nothing but to understand the master data. Let's go through this particular example. Let me enlarge this. Yeah, this should work. Okay, so let's take a study of a company called as Airtel India Private Limited, or let's say any telecom company, any telecom company like Vodafone, Airtel, anything. Okay, now let's talk about a customer, John K. Smith. John K. Smith, that's the name. So John has taken some services from Airtel. John has taken some services from Airtel. Now he has taken a prepaid service and he has taken a postpaid service as well as an internet service, right? Now you can understand what will happen is someone takes some service. So what will happen is your information will be collected and your information will be stored in some databases. So that's what has happened here. You can see that here the, let me change the color of this. Right. Now you can see that John's information, when he took a prepaid service, it was stored here, and then the postpaid information was stored here, and then the internet information is stored in this internet database. Now that's fine. What is the problem here? The problem here is, this is the problem, that I have different information in different databases, whereas the customer is the same. It's the same customer, not different, but it's stored as different in different databases. You see different addresses as well. You see date of birth and information is different, right? So first thing is, how does it happen? I mean, like, how can it happen? Like, is it possible even that I have, uh, I mean, how is it possible? We are living in a world, such an advanced world. It happens because there are many reasons, and if I put it down, the main reasons are basically how data is collected, how data is collected, and the interface type. Means how data is collected. See, data can be collected over your phone, via internet, or just over the counter. So you just go to the counter and apply for something over the counter, right? Now in internet also there are many methods. You send an email, you fill a form, many things you can do. All right. Now phone, you can directly call the head office, sub office, or any other office, right? Or directly you walk to the counter. Now see, the issues that will be there in OTC and the issues that will be there in internet will not be same. They will be different. For example, let's say in internet, information is not validated. You understand, right? In internet, it's not validated immediately, but in over the counter, there are more chances that data is valid. But here less. Because of this, you might have some system, let's say the prepaid system is an internet, uh, the registration was done via internet, whereas this one via phone and this one via, let's say, over the counter. So that's the reason why you see different things. This is a very common problem in any company. And the second thing is the interface type. So your postpaid machine or the postpaid registration machine can be in mainframes, it can be in a node based, or it can be in a grid machine, or it can be a cloud machine, or could be any new age technology or old. So the issues, data quality issues that will happen here and here and here will of course be different, not the same, right? So because of these reasons, what I'm trying to justify is, this example is not a hypothetical scenario. It's not hypothetical. It's completely practical, right? So what has happened is same information about the customer. Now it's very difficult for anyone to identify that these are same. Why? Because if I call Mr. John K. Smith, he will say that, yeah, that's me. I mean, that's okay. But why do I see, like, I have already updated you guys that I'm currently living in California. Why do I see that Texas and Vegas? That's a, I don't want that, right? But at least he can recognize. But if I call some other guy, he will say that I have no idea. If these three records are same, they are different, no idea, right? So the problem is identification of the customer. Now that is going to hurt the company very bad. Why? Because see, they will lose a lot of business. There are many reasons. I'll justify this later because that's again a different subject. But if your customer is not unified, you will lose a lot of business, right? So that's where there's a necessity. A necessity arises to integrate the information. That is, I would like to understand that, okay, this guy, and this guy, they are all the same. They are all the same. And I would like to store that single record in the MDM. And that's my record. That's the master data, the master key information, right? So prepaid information, postpaid, internet. How do I do it? Now that's technical stuff, but and that's called as match and merge operation. So I will do something called as match and merge, through which I will identify that, okay, these three are the same, and then I'll create the unique version of the truth. And the first line is nothing but the master data. And if I go a bit deeper, I will see there is something challenging here. The main challenge is, first is identify the duplicates. Now that's called as a match. So you match it to identify that, okay, so this is same as this is same as this. Now that's fine. You have, you know that these three are duplicates, but when you merge them, right, which you want to keep? I mean, like if I give you three apples, right, you're hungry, but you can eat only one. Which one will you choose? Definitely you'll choose the sweetest. How will you know? Now that's called as trust. It's something like we give scores here. So I'll give a score of 90 here, and score of 80 here, and a score of 70 here. So whichever has the highest score will be the survivor. So since this is 90 here, internet database, now that's the survivor. And that's the reason why this this thing is stored. And the survivor can be different for different columns. For example, here you can see that the address, that's California, is picked from the postpaid database, not from here. Right? Now, frankly speaking, whatever I have explained, if I try to conclude that in just a single word like match and merge, now MDM is basically about this, match and merge. So you identify the duplicates, you merge it to create the unique version of the truth. That's it. And what do you do with that? You send it to the downstream applications which will use this information. Right? Now what I'll do is I will just since like I just explained this example, so I'm sure that you understood something, at least not everything, but something you got it. So I'll try to show you this same feature in the tool so that you can correlate what you are learning theoretically with the tool wise, like, okay, that's what we are doing. So anyway, the tool is something that the introduction and all that thing I will give you later. Okay, so
Sorry to interrupt,
yeah,
Sunil.
yeah,
Prakash this side.
yeah, Prakash.
Sunil, I just wanted to know, like for the installation and configuration of this MDM, like how can I install in my machine or for practice purpose?
You cannot install in your machine. It is installed in the server. So this is like a server client model. You will access it from your environment. For example, this is installed in this remote server. So from there, the way I am accessing it, because I am also accessing from the same. So you have to install this VPN. Once you are installed that, then you just need to open this small 4 KB file. So you just double click, then the tool opens in your desktop. Okay, just log in. then actually you are connected to the server. This is not in your local machine. So all these things that you see here, it's picking from the server.
Okay, one more thing.
Yeah.
Just like how where the server is exactly now?
Where the server is exactly now? It's in a separate location. It's in India. Oh, you're asking about country, place? It's in India.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in India.
Okay.
Okay. But you don't need to worry about the server because I will take care of that. Because handling the server is slightly a headache for Informatica MDM. The reason is the server will always crash very often. Not the server, but the service. So you have to do fixes every week or every fortnight. Correct that. And it's something that,
Sunil, Naresh here.
yeah, Naresh.
Yeah, by any chance, can we get a physical software? I mean, we can install in our machine.
No, no, physical I'm not providing. I'm just providing the access.
Okay,
If you
and this
want,
is always requires internet also, right?
yeah, this
Access.
always needs an internet. Okay. If you want, you can contact me later. I can give you an older version of this, but not this one because this one is on version 10.1.
Okay, I mean, mostly same, right? Normally, Informatica
Yeah,
devices
that's
are shown.
that thing I'm giving for people who want to go on admin side so that they can practice the installation. But for
Okay,
work point of view, you use this one only because this will be up 24/7. Because if you install
okay,
something in your machine, I can guarantee that it will crash in 2-3 days, and again you need to recover it. So that
okay,
happens very often often with this tool. This tool is not that stable as compared to other things. So definitely this will happen. So for practice you have to use this only because this is like 24/7 it will be available. In worst case,
okay,
even if this crashes, you have two servers. So you can immediately switch to something else till I rectify it in 2 hours something. But normally it won't crash it like that. It happens, but once in a month like that. Right.
okay. And then how, I mean, like, see, I'm basically a power center background. Actually, like, how difficult it is for me to understand this MDM.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. I will. There is a separate session for that also. Just you have to be a bit patient. I'll explain all the
Okay,
prerequisite and everything. Okay.
okay,
Just give me
okay.
15-20 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Right. All right. So why I'm going with MDM directly, I would like to explain this is because you try to understand and you will understand later once I explain that MDM is actually very simple. So MDM is the most easiest thing to learn. Like out of, you might have worked on 100 technologies where like on Hadoop as well, let's say, which is quite a difficult technology to learn. The reason is you have like, you can understand there are many things to learn and all that. Data warehouse is also again slightly complex because you have to learn reporting, ETL, all that stuff. But you'll see MDM is quite simple in that sense. For example, see here, the whole feature, I mean the whole feature in the sense from complete end to end, I'll just show you. See, for example, we talked about this John Smith, right? So see here, I'm getting message. One second, I'm muting everyone because I'm getting some noise. All right. So for example, whatever you are seeing here, right? Whatever you've seen in this example, it's the same thing here. So this is my source. Just assume that this is my source. Don't ask what is this LND party, all that. Just assume that this is my source, and my source contains three records: John, John Smith, John K. Smith, right? One from prepaid, postpaid, internet. So these are his details: gender, address name, phone number. This is one unique identifier, party ID, and other things, right? My objective is that I will load this data in my MDM, right? Actually, this is also MDM, but this is the beginning stage. I will load this data, then I'll perform something called as match and merge, right? So to move the data, I will use certain jobs like, so I think I have a batch group. I'll just run that. 1 minute. Okay, I'm in the wrong place. Okay, right. So what I'm doing is I'm just moving the data to a table. 1 minute. And refresh. Failed. The reason why it got failed is the process server is missing. So which you will learn what is a process server later. Okay, so this is, it says it's done. And if I go and check it, this table, see, you can see that the same records, whatever is there in the source, I'm just loading that. John Smith, John K. Smith, right? Now I will perform the match and merge operation, which what it will do is match and merge based on certain something called as a match rule. You can see that the addresses are not exactly same. You see a variation, right? So 101, this is 101A, 101B. Phone number is also slightly different, right? Names are, of course, there's a lot of variation. Okay, so I have something called as a match rule, which is nothing but this. So I have created as just a very single simple rule to demonstrate this. And what this rule says is, I think it's based on person name. You can see that the rule says that person name, gender, F1 ID. So it's matching two customers based on these three. It means that if the name of two records are identical, gender is same, F1 ID is same, then it is identified as the same customer. That's called as a match rule, right? So based on that, now if I go and run this, now if the configurations are correct, then I will expect that the records will be merged. Okay, now let me go here and check it. You can see that the record got merged. So earlier I had 3 records, now I have only 1 record, and this is the master version of the truth. If I want to track the duplicates, I can still track it here. Now this is where I can see the duplicates. This table is called as the cross reference table. Now that's the table where I can see the duplicates, right? And now talking about the survivor, you can see that it has picked the name from John K. Smith. Why is it like that? That's called as trust. So for example, that's the name field, right? So name field is typically will be picked from, if there are among these 3 source systems, it will be picked from internet, right? Because it is 90 here. Just neglect this admin. It's for a special use. So 90, right? So it will be picked from internet. Now just check the name from internet. What is the name from internet? What is the name? So this is internet. The name is John K. Smith. So that's the survivor, right? Now if I go and check something else, address. Now for the address, the postpaid is the survivor, right? So why? Because this is 90 here. It's the survivor is postpaid. So what is postpaid here? Yeah, this one. So HNO 1018. I can expect that. So see here. Yeah, HNO 101A, right? So whatever we talked about theoretically, the same thing I just showed you, the match feature, which identified the matches, and the merge feature, where of course trust comes into picture, which is actually a part of merge only, right? Now I think at least technically you got some understanding on like MDM. Functionally, I mean, what it does, why do we use it, what's the business impact? Now let's say if I talk like a businessman, why would I spend $1 million on MDM? right? I'll try to justify that, but not now, because that probably I'll do it tomorrow when I explain a banking use case, a telecom use case, and a pharmaceutical and an insurance use case. Then it will be clear what is the business impact that MDM has. Right, now let's since I already got some questions on, like, so I plan to cover this thing like some more theoretical now itself, but I think I will cover that, but not now. Like what is the need of MDM and all that. But before that, what I'll do is I'll jump ahead into the structure of the codes, where you'll get more idea on the different things, right? So I'll just go through this document. This is like a question answer document, and I'll be asking questions and probably I'll be answering until unless if you have any questions, you can stop me if you want any clarification, right? The first thing, what is the objective of this training session? The objective is to train you so that you can work as 3 years experienced developer. So 3 years experience developer. Now you might have many questions like, I have 12 years experience, I have 9 years experience. So what is it? What's it for me? Now I'm thinking 3 years in MDM. You can have 20 years in total, but 3 years in MDM. Now can be another question like, I want to show 7 years or 5 years on MDM, or let's say I want to work as an architect, means like 9 to 12 years in MDM. Can I do that? Yes, you can also do it. The only thing is that uh, there are some advanced topics like on SIF, user exits, hierarchy manager, right? You need to concentrate a bit more on the advanced topics. If you do that, you can also project yourself as an architect or 7-8 years experience. And especially for architect, for people who want to work as an architect, there's a special thing I'll just show you. Yeah, so these are the total responsibility, the high level responsibilities of the architect. So if you're planning to work as an architect or so, you need to concentrate a bit more on these areas, which is something that you can also do with this course. So this course is for developers, for analysts, for architects, and for senior developers, as well as for freshers who have zero knowledge on anything, right? Because I'll be training from ground zero. Why? Because you see that I have clearly mentioned that the prerequisite is just SQL. Yeah, now that's something that I assume that you have some knowledge on SQL. Even though, frankly speaking, even if you don't have any knowledge on SQL, that's also okay, because you will need that later, and SQL is something that you can learn in 1-2 hours also. It's not a big deal, right? Now that's the only prerequisite I'm putting. And talking about Java, now Java becomes a prerequisite if you're in this range. Now this range in MDM, don't say that, don't, I'm not saying this range in your career. Now this range, if you're projecting yourself as greater than 3, 4, 5 years experience, then yes, you need to have some basic understanding on Java. Now when I say basic understanding on Java, it's just basic core Java. You don't have to be an expert programmer or something, because that's not your job, right? Now what if for less than 3 or less than 3, 4, let's say less than 4. Now less than 4, you don't need to know J about Java. You don't have to know anything, right? But if you know slightly, it's always better, but it's not mandatory for you, right? And for Java, so let's say if you're coming in this range, then do you have to again take a separate Java course and all that thing? Now that will not be necessary. The reason is you don't need to be an expert in Java or something, and I already have certain basic materials which are more than enough for Java, video as well as audio tutorials. So I'm going to share that. So these are, I think someone removed it, because I also give write privilege because people can't download. That's fine. I have it. I think again I need to upload it. I'll upload that again. That's fine. Okay, so I'll also give you that material so you can go through that, but you don't need to concentrate much on that. That's the basic thing. Now the version. So there are many versions of this software. You will see that oldest one is like Cyprian XU, then Informatica 9.1, 9.5, 9.7, then 10.0, 10.1. 10.1 is the current version, the latest version. Okay, and a lot of people are migrating to 10.1, and I'll be training on 10.1. So as explained, as shown earlier, this is 10.1. Okay, so the training will be basically on the version 10.01. And what about let's say that if you are something like, if you get a job on an older version, like let's say 9.5, which is also, there's a possibility because a lot of people are still with older versions. Now what about that? So if that happens, then you also need to know what are the differences in the versions and how you can implement the same feature in older version. So to do that, what I've done is, whenever there's any significant difference between the versions, right? For example, let's say user exit. Now user exit in the new version, it has to be implemented in the Java side, right? So you have to do that in the Java. That is nothing but something like these programs. Now in the older version, this is actually very simple. You don't have to be a real Java programmer to create a user exit. And this one is how you do it in the older version, like 9.1, 9.5, 9.6 version. So using the package. So I'll explain both. The reason is, if you get to work, if you're joining a project with a new old version, that helps. Second is, in interviews, when you're attending interviews, there will be a common question like, have you worked on upgrade? Or do you know what is the difference between the versions? So there also it becomes important. Now the course contents and assignments. I think the course content is something that you would have already seen. Now course contents. So you can see that the total course is on 16 topics are there total, out of which this is the first one. Then this talks about the data modeling. Then uh, this one, the staging. Now I have not mentioned ETL as a prerequisite. I have not, because that's not a prerequisite. Now there can be cross question that, but I know ETL, so will it help me, or will it help me in some sense, some way? Yeah. So this is the place where you can. This is something more over like ETL. So what you have done in ETL, it's pretty much the same thing, right? But if you don't know ETL, no need to worry, because that's fine, not a problem. The load process, then this is the most important thing, the match and merge configuring. This is the heart of the thing. I just showed you the match rule and all that. Now that thing we are going to configure here. And then packages, all those things which are not difficult. So from topic 1 to 8, that is one phase of the training, and 9 to 16, that is the second phase of the training. For people with less than 3-4 years experience, have to concentrate more on first 8 topics and less on remaining, right? For people who have more than 4 years, they have to concentrate more on the advanced topics. It doesn't mean that you skip the basic topic. You have to learn the basic plus advanced also you have to learn, right? And as explained, as shown, this is in Java, the new one, right? So this I will show you how to implement. And hierarchy manager is also slightly not complicated, but confusing, of course. So that I'll cover. SAM is not difficult, easy, but moreover for administration, not used much by developers. SIF. Now SIF is slightly, I will not say complicated, but SIF is slightly big. In fact, it's quite big compared to other things. And normally there will be separate resources dedicated for this, to this. You understand, right? So there will be separate guys working on just this, nothing else. Okay, so we'll try to learn this. There are many APIs. I'll go through some 15-20 APIs. Then IDD is also equally important, especially in, I will say, December 2016, the time where we are in. Now, here IDD is very important because from work point of view as well as interview point of view, it's important. Especially on interview point of view, there will be questions on IDD. And from work point of view, there are chances that you will be working on IDD. Okay, earlier uh, it was not the case. Now, message queues is something it's not necessary. It's more over like an admin stuff. But yeah, you can. I'll go cover that also. And yeah, installation of the product. So installation of this product is something that is already there in YouTube. Like I have already made it public on YouTube. So that I'll give you the link. Then you can just go through it. It has 4 videos. Then step by step I have explained like everything, how it works and all that. So you can learn it there. And the job scheduling and creation of ORS. And there are some other topics that uh, I've not put here, like load by row ID and other things, which will also be there. And this is the structure of that thing, like the day-wise structure. So not exactly day-wise, because you see that every day it will be 75-minute session, whereas some topics are like 2 hours. So this will span for 2 days, and this is just single day session. And and yeah, then IDD and all that, right? So, and these are the assignments that you will do. You have to do basically based on like you will. These are mostly hands-on assignments. So once you do them, then you have more real-time understanding of the tool, right? So the structure is like I will be explaining in the class. Then everything is recorded. Later, once the class is done, you need to open the tool and do the hands-on, because the it's important that you do the hands-on, otherwise you're not going to remember anything. Because this is a tool. For example, let's say like VLC player or a paint shop. Now if I use the paint shop after 10 days, I will not remember what is this option. So tools are like that only, right? And then the assignment case studies, as explained, we'll have different case studies, plus I'll also give you these documents. There are 7 case studies here, which is more than enough, much more than enough to understand uh, the MDM. Like then the materials, there will be PDF, PPT materials, and different video materials. Like these are the PPT materials. Some around 6 materials are there. You can say like total 80 slides are there. I have not designed this one. I got it from somewhere, but doesn't matter. Anyway, this slide is also quite good. So people who are new will find it very interesting because it explains some of the complicated topics like cleanse list and all that in a very simple way. So that's useful. Similarly, you have other PPT slides, and then there are lab guides. So lab guide version MDM 10.1 lab guide. So this is also quite useful. This is especially useful for people who are freshers or like who have no idea on this tool. Then this is quite useful because you will see that it's like double triple spoon feeding. So you will see that how to create a system. For example, if I go through this, then first use this tool to create, select this, and you have a print screen. Do this. Now that's like double spoon feeding. So this is quite useful. In fact, you can learn whole of the MDM, like 50% of MDM in a single day itself. If you just go through this complete document, you'll get a complete idea. That's one of the document, and then a lot of other documents are there which are to be used as reference. Like there are a lot of documents. Then these books. So you should use this as a reference, not daily. Okay, so I'll tell you when to use this and all that. Just use it as a reference. Yeah, and yeah, then questions, like I will be telling you what are the questions that will be there in interview, because I have that much not experience on that. So if you are planning for interviews, something that will be helpful, and there is a certification guide also. If you are planning to go for certification, then you can use this particular guide. 1 minute, I'll close this stuff. And yeah, project, which is already there, you can see here. So this contains already, this has data, somewhere around 10,000 records will be there. So you can use that with data. And tool access, I think I explained you that the tool access will be basically through VPN, so virtual private network, and server client model, and every session is of course recorded, so you'll get every session in your desktop, I mean in the Google Drive, which you can download in your desktop. Okay, and entity 360 degree, another topic that I will, that's nothing special, it's just a very small thing. And yeah, active use is a completely different topic. Active use is a completely separate software which is integrated with MDM. I'll tell you how that is, I mean why that is used and how it is used. But active use is a completely different software. So for example, see here, this is active use, and I think the license would have expired. I need to backdate it. This is a completely different software. We integrate this software with MDM for business process management, for approvals and all that. So nowadays some companies are using it because Informatica encourages them to, I mean like it's just a marketing strategy. But anyway, I'll just tell you like how that's integrated and how that's used, where it comes into play. Right, so that's the course contents. If you have any doubts on the course content and on prerequisite or anything, then you can ask me. Otherwise, I think we'll move ahead. Yeah, 1 second. This is expired. That's okay. Yeah, so we'll be going through this telecom project while going through like this training. In this training session, we'll be going through a live telecom project, and we'll be implementing that only, like this telecom project. And yeah, and then the mapping sheet, like how the cleansing is done, the cleansing rules and all that. Then the matching sheet. So typically, normally, one to all of this will be separate documents. Okay. For example, like if you see here, like the project documents, so this one, you will see that everything, for everything there will be separate document. There will be, you can see separate documents for mappings. Like here it contains details of the mapping, and like for everything there is a separate document. But I've clubbed them together to create a single document, because if I go through a like exact project, then it will take 1 year to implement, because typically that's what it takes. Where you have 10 resources, like, and you do it for 1 year, then you have the project. But we can't do that exactly, but we'll try to do something like that. So, and that's what is the result of this document. I've tried to sum it up. So especially this mapping sheet is quite advanced in the sense it explores all the things that you can use in this tool. So every kind of feature cleansing that you can do, I have included all of them in this single thing. So for example, this it looks like just small thing, like if name is null reject, it will take 20-30 minutes just to implement this. And this one will take almost like a single class. We'll go through that. And then the trust sheet, and then the trust sheet, the scores and all those things, and the source system description, what it does, the interface mode, and then the interface details, and the matching sheet, how the matching has to be done, and all those things that we'll see, right? All right, now what I'll do now is, if you have any doubts or so, you can ask me. Otherwise, I think I'll just move ahead to some other topic. That's this thing which I just skipped. And yeah, I have a question. Can we get some technical support post training? For example, I'm facing some difficulty. Just a minute. Yeah, so you can always be in touch. So that's you. I'll after 2-3 sessions, I'll give my phone number and my mail ID. You can directly contact me for anything. If you have any issues, you can always. The best thing is to send me an email first. The reason is, if you send me an email with detailed description, then I also have some time, like I can understand what is the thing. But if you directly call me and explain me, if that's something that I can understand, I can immediately give you a response. But if I can't, then again you have to send an email. So first send an email, then if there is anything different, difficult, either I'll call you or you'll call me, then I can explain, right? So that's always welcome. That's not a problem. Right, now let's go through some other things. Now you have seen MDM theoretically using this picture, this one. Now you've also seen MDM in this tool, how that was done, the match and merge. Now let's try to understand a bit more on what is the necessity. Why do we have to use this software or uh, this thing? See, MDM, the if I go with the complete like all the points, then there will be thousands of reasons. I can't explain all, but what I have done is I just picked the most popular points. All these things are popular points, and I'll be explaining that. See, okay, let's go with the first point. Now you might be thinking that, like, why am I wasting time in explaining these stupid theoretical things? This is not stupid thing. The reason is, see, I know that most of you guys are from ETL or from other background. You're not from MDM background, mostly 99 percentage. So you don't have any knowledge on, like, less knowledge you have on MDM side, right? Now you are joining this session because you're planning to switch your career to MDM, right? Now when you're planning to switch your career to MDM, you have to justify yourself that you're doing justice. That is, you're choosing a safe career, or are you risking? So to understand that, you have to know why MDM is important, and after these points you can explain yourself, that you can justify yourself that, okay, will MDM, will it be a bull, or will it be bear market down the line, right? Now first thing is multiple products. Now you have seen this. Now one thing is clear, like if I have one source system, does MDM makes any sense? No, MDM does not make any sense if you have just one source system. Now if I have 2, 3, 4, 5, then it makes sense, right? So if I have hundreds of systems, then, and if I have one, if I have 10, now MDM is almost like impossible. I mean, without MDM, life is impossible here. Here it's not necessary. Here it's needed, but here much more. It means that the number of source system, if they keep on increasing, the need of MDM is more and more, right? Now, and if I study the pattern, let's talk about any company, let's say uh, Cisco, or you name it. You take any big company and you see that total as of now, December 2016, how many products they have or how many services they have. Let's say they have less like 2000 different products and services as of now. Now that's in 2016. Now let's say in 2020 or 2018, what do you expect? Do you expect this number to increase or decrease? It's definitely going to increase. Why? Because everyone is diversifying, right? You see a musician now, if he's playing a guitar, you will see that after 1-2 years he'll be playing a keyboard guitar, then he'll also be singing. Now that's the current trend in market. If you go with a manufacturing company like, let's say, Ford, then you will see that earlier they had just 10 models, now they have 100 models. as well as they are also going into insurance, banking, finance, telecom, everywhere. Why? Because that's competition. If you don't do it, someone else is going to snatch that opportunity. So even if you don't want to, you have to do it. That's the trend. You take any company, you will see that, let's say an Airtel. Now Airtel started with a very small thing. If I remember, if I go and check the history, then you will see that they started with something like a bicycle company, something. Then telecom. Now they're into insurance, banking, then pretty much like anything, retail, anything, everything. They're into everything, right? Now that's the trend, not just with Airtel, with almost like any company in the world. And you will see that that trend will keep on increasing. As a result, you will have more and more systems that store the data, customer information. So earlier, if you had 20 systems that store the customer data, now I have somewhere around 200 systems. So earlier, if MDM was uh, MDM was necessary here, right? Now this is like MDM is very, very, very necessary here. So it means that day by day, the need of MDM will be more and more. That's what I'm trying to justify, right? Then the second thing, let's say that this is false. Let's say the company is not going with multiple product and all that thing, right? Now, the second thing states that, see, when you're opening a company, and if you're a big company, right, let's say a IBM, something like that, then the government keeps an eagle eye on your company, the auditing, the standards, what you're following, everything. Now, if they have any suspicion or any auditing policies, they will demand information from your company that, okay, can you provide me all the details of this guy? I want to know all the transactions that John has done in last year, all transactions in all your systems. You can't answer this question if you don't have MDM solution. Why? You don't know they are same or not. You don't know if John is same as John Smith and he's same as John K. Smith. You have no idea. So just to meet the second one, a lot of companies will go with MDM. And in US, that's the main reason why people are going with the transactional MDM for the second region, right? Now the third one and fourth one also. Now see, CRM is nothing but a customer relationship management. And indirectly speaking, like for example, let's say you have a grocery store, right? Let's say a grocery store you're running. Now, when you have a grocery store, you have people coming and purchasing something, right? Now you try to maintain a verbal relation, like you talk to them, like how things are, how is your work, how is this, how is that. Why do I do that? I do it to make sure that I I keep the customer. That is, I make sure that he doesn't go to any other vendor, right? Now that's customer relationship management, right? Now earlier it was done directly. Why? Because the customer base was less. Now let's say that I have 1,000 customers. Is it possible? Somewhat, like I can hire 10 guys and do it. Let's say I have 10 million customers. Let's say I'm the CEO of Vodafone and I have 10 million customers. Now is it possible for me to directly talk to the customers? Impossible. So I'm using the software to do that. What it does, pretty much the same thing digitally, right? Or in electronically, whatever you can say. So this will only work properly if it has knowledge that this customer has is into this area, or he has taken this, or let's say Sunil has purchased an iPhone. So I know this pattern that okay, Sunil prefers iPhones, right? Now I can do the marketing accordingly. If I don't have that information, then it's very difficult. It's impossible. So if you want to use a CRM, like who will use a CRM? Anyone that has, like if any company that has more than 100k customers, or like I've seen people with 10k customers also, anything greater than 10k customers will definitely go for an CRM solution. If someone is going for a CRM, MDM is mandatory. Same goes with the data warehouse. For data warehouse also MDM is mandatory. Now a lot of people are confused, and I know this, that a lot of people think that data warehouse and MDM are the same thing. No, they're completely different. If data warehouse is your hand in your body, then MDM is like leg, right? So you don't say that my leg is really a stupid thing. It just sits there, relaxes, whereas my hand does all the typing. You don't say something like that, right? Why? Because they work together. So it's the same thing here. So data warehouse and MDM, they work together. They are supportive. They're not competitors or something. Now, that thing will be completely clear when I explain. Uh, there's a separate topic for that altogether. Like I'll explain data warehouse versus MDM completely, bit by bit I'll compare, but not now because that'll divert the topic. But how uh, MDM is going to help a data warehouse? That's the question. How it is going to help is, let's say that I have something like Amazon and I have another customer in uh, data warehouse. This is Amazon, and the revenue here is like $3 million, and here it is $4 million in my data warehouse, I'm saying, right? I am getting this to transaction, and what I'm doing is I've written a logic that I'll sum it up, right? So see, the logic is very simple. If the revenue is greater than $5 million, then it's a platinum customer. If the revenue is greater than $5 million, so I don't have an MDM. I have no idea. I don't know that this is same as this. I don't know this. So what will happen? I will treat this as a bronze customer and this one as a bronze customer. Whereas what I should have done is I should have combined these two, and the revenue is $7 million, and I will declare this as a platinum customer, right? That is something that I should have done, but that's only possible if you have MDM, because otherwise you can't identify. So MDM plays a very integral, very key role in a data warehouse project, right? And if I keep on, if I keep on talking, then you will see that MDM is pretty much like useful for anything. Let's say if you're working in a company like Bank of America, then you will have at least 100 different IT teams. Like you have many teams. CRM team, you have a data warehouse team, you have a transactional systems, LDAP, many things. You will see that MDM will become the key or the critical data. That's why this is called as master. Master means critical, right? And that's the reason why it will be very much helpful. And then finally, I'll just conclude the session with this. Now, why Informatica MDM? Because there are major products in market. What difference does this make? First thing is, see, the main thing is marketing. So the marketing that Informatica is doing, it's quite good, quite aggressive, in the sense that, see, Informatica doesn't need to look for new customers. You understand? So they already have customers. They just need to convert them. When I say customers, see, ETL, Informatica ETL, that's the power center. That is the industry leader in ETL, the best ETL. After that, there is data stage, then ab initio, like that, right? So there are thousands and thousands of people, companies who have taken power center, and there are many companies who have taken IDQ. So what they are doing is they're marketing this MDM to these people, and that's like a very soft target for them. That's the reason why you see that this market is booming, because that's what they are doing. That's the first thing. And second thing is, you will see that you will find many softwares under a single umbrella. Like you will find data integration, that's power center, and you will find something like data quality, that's IDQ, and MDM. So all the three from a single vendor. Now that's fine, but why should I care? Why should I care is, see, when you have three softwares and all these three are the best, and when you combine them, you can create a very robust solution. Now that's a plus point for any client, and that's how they are marketing, saying that we have the best, all these three are best, and that's how you'll be benefited. And scaling, like you can do the scaling up to any level, horizontal, vertical, anything. You can add 20, 30 different servers. Your one of the server can be in India, another one in China. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible, right? And the matching engine is based on an algorithm called as SSA underscore name 3. So SSA underscore name 3. Now SSA underscore name 3 is a very advanced matching algorithm. Informatica has acquired this thing, but it's something that was developed separately. Informatica did not develop this, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Now this is owned by Informatica, right? And this is quite an advanced algorithm. What does it means for you? It's quite meaningful because the whole tool depends upon only one thing, the matching, how perfectly it's done, and this is done very perfectly. And the fourth point is Informatica Corporation investment in Cyperion. So actually this product was called as Cyperion MDM, Cyperion MRM. So Informatica acquired this, and then since then they're using it, and they've also put a lot of money in there, like millions of dollars they're putting every month, every year. How do I know? I don't know exactly, but I can see that using the different versions. If you see the new versions, you will see that they are doing a lot in the new interface. Like the IDD, if you see, the interface is changed, and a lot of new integration, a lot of things they're doing, which is actually a positive note, because if they invest money in the software, you will see the requirement will increase, the job requirement also, because it will be marketed like that, right? So because of these are some of the reasons why MDM is important and why Informatica MDM is important. So we have today we have seen the usage of like the MDM and all that. A lot of things that are there still, like the ETL versus data quality versus MDM. Because ETL versus MDM, it's not that important because they are completely different. But yeah, this one is important. Data quality versus MDM, because they have many similarities. So that's something we'll see tomorrow, and this one also, and then the different types of MDM, right? Now, if you have any doubts or anything on this session, you can ask. I'll try to clarify those your questions. I think I'll stop this session. I'll not explain further because theoretical sessions, if they are more than 1 hour, then it's a bit boring. Right, if you have any questions on session or anything, you can ask.
Hey, Sunil, this is Karthik. Based on this session, what I understand the importance of MDM is the mostly like to do match and merge operations, right? I'm just thinking, since I do have some basic knowledge in ETL, I feel that it can be done through the ETL power center itself, right? The match and merge with the different sources altogether. If that is possible in the power center, then how would I propose the customer to go for Informatica MDM on this? What specialty apart from the match and match which can be done in the power center itself, right?
See,
So
it's
what are the
there.
other points we can just to buy point? What is the selling point to the customer to make them to come to the MDM?
Yeah, see,
Just being in
first
a
of
power
all,
center.
what you said is that you can implement. First thing is you cannot implement. Okay, just using an ETL software, you cannot implement. I'll give you a scenario. Let's say John Smith, then Smith K John. How do you match this in your ETL? You can't. Even if you are able to match this pattern, there are many other complex patterns like Cisco Inc. You can't do it because you would need a special matching engine for that. That's the first thing. Now, that thing can be done using IDQ. Now, this matching is something that can be done using IDQ. So if you have a question like, can I use ETL plus IDQ to create something like an MDM software? Now, that can be a valid question, right? And the answer is yes, you can do it. But see, try to understand that all these three softwares have different purpose. Even though you can do matching in IDQ, you can't do any matching in ETL. That should be clear. Zero matching. The matching is only supported in data quality. Now let's say even if it's supported, the purpose of matching here and the purpose of matching here are different. The purpose of matching is just to identify if something is matching with something. But here it's not just limited to that. The purpose here is to match it, store it, publish it, then maintain that thing, the integral thing, and integrate it with different systems. Many more things. If I compare bit by bit, option by option, you will see that they are completely different. But I told you it's match and merge because this is the first session. Because if I explain you about these features like SIF, IDD, user exit, hierarchy manager, cleanse functions, you get confused, right? But match and merge is the core part of it, but that's not the only thing, right?
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
But tomorrow I'll give you some more points on this thing. Like I'll try to compare a bit more on this three thing. Then it will become completely clear. And this one is also important that you should have knowledge on this one, which I'll explain tomorrow because uh, you are still looking at MDM from a data warehouse point of view, like the way you have created data warehouses, slowly changing dimensions and all that. So on that point of view, most of you guys are looking, but you should not be doing that. So that I'll explain tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. Any more questions you have?
Hi, my name is Madhav.
Yeah, Madhav.
Basically, I'm background from ETL, Informatica Power Center. So I was just thinking the example what you showed me was like it's basically what MDM. What I understood from today's session is like getting the data together and making it like into a one master data, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So in the example what you showed me was like in when you are matching when you're making it together and when it comes to the city, how does it did it choose like that match option, like because in Informatica we choose like we do slowly changing dimensions and stuff.
Now this is something that we configure. That's called as trust. So trust is a logic where you you configure this and the best version will be
Mm-hmm.
picked up. For example, you give scores like 60, 70, 80, something like this. So let's say name. For name, you give scores. So if it is coming from internet, that's 90. From postpaid, that's 80. Prepaid, that's 70. So I'm getting three records parallelly. So this version is stored. Whatever is coming from internet will be the survivor.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, so basically, yeah, I mean, in Informatica, the normalization is done in Informatica, right? So this is the similar thing to normalization again.
I did not understand what you're saying.
In
Are you
MD,
talking about data normalization? MDM can be used for normalizing,
yeah, data
denormalizing.
normalization.
Sorry, you're talking about if you're in ETL, you can use it for anything. Like you can use it to normalize, denormalize anything. But this one is slightly different. This one we store the data in a normalized format. Like in MDM, you will see the data model will be like a normalized style, like something like this. Okay, which you will see the data model that will come to there.
So basically, I'm just confused. I am a bit confused. Like as an Informatica, I mean background, power center background, do I need to go on to MDM or IDQ? I'm just confused. Like because
Both
I
are
think
similar
three are
only.
completely
MDM.
different.
Yeah, MDM and IDQ are a bit similar only. You will see that the match feature that is there in IDQ, and you will also see that there is a same match and merge feature in MDM side. So if you're planning for both, you check what is the demand in the current market and you go with that. Because both will take the
Oh,
same time to learn, and both are the same thing only. I mean, slightly different. Not slightly, actually they are different, but similar.
okay. So but the functionality is the same.
Yeah, similar, not
Is
same.
that what you're saying?
Similar, not same.
Okay,
You have
similar. Okay.
data quality, you have matching in IDQ, you have the same thing here also, but with a different style. Now there in IDQ, you will see that DQ DQ, there is more focus on DQ side, data quality side, very less focus on matching side. So DQ side more focus
Okay.
and matching is less. Here DQ side is very less. We do not do that much, but on matching side it is
Quality check.
more.
Okay.
So they are, if you're asking, they are different. They are of course different because you will see that Informatica is selling this. So Informatica is selling IDQ and
Yeah.
MDM, and you will see that many companies they'll use this together. So if someone is using this together, it means only one thing, that um, it is useful. Otherwise, why would someone use the similar kind of thing together?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, if anyone has any more doubts or anything, you can ask.
Yeah, Sunil,
Yeah,
just wanted to know, like, if with big data integration with ETL, let's say I am in my project, I am integrating big data with Informatica ETL,
right,
and I am creating a data warehouse.
right.
In that, can I use Informatica MDM for master data management?
Yeah, regarding, see, big data, it's just a normal thing. Like you have Power Center, then you have Power Center Big Data Edition. So you can use the Power Center Big Data Edition to integrate big data with your data warehouse. That's what you commonly do. Now talking about MDM, normally the repository of MDM will not be on big data. It will be on a database, and only three databases are supported. That is Oracle, DB2, and SQL Server. Now using big data as a source, can I, is it possible? Yes, possible. Can I use big data as a target? Is it possible? Yes, possible. Now can I install MDM on big data? Is it possible that MDM can be on big data? That is also possible, but it's a very new thing. So this is something that is um, some going on since last 1.5 years or something. So this is still in beta phase. You will see that mostly no MDM tool will be on big data. The reason is, now MDM is critical information. So we don't store anything, like whatever you get, you don't store all that. You store only important things here. So important things in the sense, just key information. And key information will not be very huge, will be small only. So since this is small, this will easily like work with databases. You don't need to go with this, right? But anyway, this is also possible, right?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I think I'll finish the session.
Hi Sunil, this is Shiva Shekhar.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Shiva. Yeah, Shiva.
Actually, I got missed with some concepts in the initial of this session. If we will cover in coming sessions, right?
Yeah, this was.
Actually, you explained match merge, right?
Yeah, yeah. But no problem. What you do is the session is recorded anyway, so you get the recorded session and go through it. Anyway, these concepts are basic concepts. We'll cover later also.
Sunil, if I am missing any
Okay, sure.
classes, will I get the recorded session?
Yeah, every session is recorded and then every session will be uploaded after. You can see, for example, like for every class is recorded and that's uploaded in Google Drive like this. Okay.
Can getting that, Sunil?
Sorry.
How we can get that recording?
Yeah, I'll share this link. I need to share this Google Drive.
No.
Okay. Okay, guys. I think then if that's it, then I think we'll finish the session. Then we'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow, same time, the session where I'll be explaining this thing a bit more on this area. Right. Thanks, guys. The timing is same. Okay.
Thanks, sir.
Tomorrow.
Thank
Okay.
you,
Thanks,
Sunil.
guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Sunil.